Free Drake X The Weeknd X 21 Savage type beat Velvet. I don't know if you know this part about the podcast, but there is a little freestyle in the beginning. Listen, and you're an actual rapper, so it's always kind of awkward and weird when you ask actual rappers to do it, because all the people that I have on the podcast are just friends. They don't know how to rap. It's just funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But when somebody who can actually rap comes in, it's like, here's what I'll say. I don't want you to feel any pressure to be like, oh, I gotta kill this. No, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
You can have fun. And this is produced by Hyperworld.
Shout out Hyperworld.
Yeah, gotta give them credit, man. It's all the producers. So yeah, you can start. I can start. Actually, I'll start just to make it so you can sound way better than me. So your rap sounds way better. All right, let's see, man. Let's see what the fuck I can do with this. All right, Savage. On Savage. Yeah. So that bitch. I fucked up already. All right, come on. Yeah. I'm trying to see how 21 Savage rap is like. Yeah. Don't come to my house, dog. You don't know what I'm about, dog.
Okay.
Listen, don't judge me, man. You're an actual rapper. I don't know shit about this.
I don't judge. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Right, we are having fun. You can start whenever you want.
I don't really get in my freestyle bag, but I do my thing. Everybody knows that I can rap and then I can sing. And then plus I produce all my beats. I do my thing. And you know I'll be all in the sky and I've got my wings. I'm just like an angel when I come into the spot. Everybody knows they gon' get hot when I drop that song and I'm gonna drop. And I got a brand new album going off and you know that I'm off that top. Everybody knows how it goes, and ladies when it's like me, like a lollipop, but you know who it is. And I'm going and I got that bob and it be like the baby hopping a check, and you know that he got that job and you go with that drip, and you know that everybody knows that I got that clap and I got that and I got that and I got a gig. Yeah, I got
Damn.
Yeah.
Listen, that's fucking great. That's you don't even. I saw you like trying to think. I was like, what else can I give him? That's good, man. That's good. That's great, man. You hit him with the fucking triple flow or whatever the fuck that is called. I don't know, but you hit him with the fast flow, and I'm very honored that anybody would do a triple flow on this segment of the podcast. I think that's a good enough way to start.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's a
know?
great. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully people got past my shady freestyle in the beginning. Couldn't fucking make it 2 bars in, but hey, you know what I mean? It's all about fun.
No, but listen, no. Because a lot of dudes. So I've seen a lot of people. I've met a lot of people, man. And dudes do not want to share their beat libraries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was actually a hot ass beat, because I'm always on YouTube. I'm looking for beats all the time, and there's a lot of questionable shit. That was actually a really good beat.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. Actually, put some effort into finding good like beats online, because obviously I want the beat to be good for people doing the freestyle. That is something. I mean, you have to go through a lot of shady. It's a lot of shady beats, man. They're bad. They're really trash. But yeah, we got Despues Green, right?
Yes.
In the building.
Yes.
Again, if it's still bothering you, the little latency, you can take off the headphones. It's fine at this point. But how you been, man? How are you? Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for coming this early to record. We're recording like at 10 a.m. today because I couldn't do any night recording because of work. I wasn't expecting. I mean, it's always, you never want to ask people to do it like really early in the morning. It really depends on people who wake up that early. You know what I mean? Which is rare. You know, I don't know a lot of people who wake up before 11 a.m. So.
It's Saturday too. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's a difference between 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and 10 a.m. on a Saturday. But how you been, man? How you been? How's everything been going for you since high school? That's what I want to know.
Bro, life is life, bro. All of us have life, and when you go out and you meet people, you get to see people's experiences and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see how everybody, you know what I mean, from school is growing. You know, even for some people have kids already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a trip.
Yeah. So I mean, just like everyone else, bro, just continuing to grow and prosper, finding our way.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know you very well. We've only I think we talked like a couple of times in high school, and I would see you here and there, obviously, because it was such a small high school. But here's something that I wanted to ask you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way.
I'm listening.
But listen, I just want to know. Okay, I just hope this doesn't come off wrong. But what are you aware that you are kind of a polarizing figure? amongst people?
These are the things that I ask about. So I want you to elaborate,
Okay.
girl, please.
Well, listen, I don't know. That's why I was gonna say why. And by polarizing, let's keep it. Let's be honest. Some people don't like you, right?
I know.
Why do you think that is? Because I don't know you that well, so I can't even say. I just know that you are a very, like, people have strong opinions of you either way. Which, I mean, I would say is kind of flattering, if I'm being honest. That just means you're really being yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't give a fuck about what anybody's thinking about you. But it is a thing that I've noticed. Since I don't really know you, I know of you. I know the legend of Des. You know what I mean? From high school. You know what I mean? So I just wonder, what do you think it is? I don't even know what people don't like about you. Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I ask people all the time.
What do they say?
Oh no, you're cool.
Oh, so when you ask them, they don't say shit.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I actually appreciate you even asking the question.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to what I can think, yeah, I think it's just me being myself. I have a very loud voice. I have the way that I express my energy, but at the same time, I'm very comfortable with myself and my own skin, and I feel like that's a huge problem among many other people. They're not very comfortable with being in their own skin. Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. And that includes like silence. I love isolation and silence. So I can do that, and then I can also engage in a conversation with somebody and speak to their heart. So.
What do you mean by like the you like silence? Like what do you mean by that? Like that you like just not talking for a long period? Like you're able to not talk for a long period of time, or like what kind of silence do you mean?
Yeah, like for example, I can sit in this room by myself or with someone else and not have to feel that awkwardness or whatever that energy is, whatever that is, where people feel like there has to be noise.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
People are like, oh, I have to listen to music while I do something, or I'm gonna lose my brain. And it's like the demons in your head and all that. You got to listen to them.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. I think I'm able to not talk to somebody for like, because I also don't like that weird like awkward conversation just to fill out time. I hate that. But so I usually don't do it, but there is undeniably like some sort of awkwardness that comes from that, and I don't know why. But there's been times like even riding on an elevator with like random strangers. Well, I shouldn't feel a need to talk to them, but for some reason there's a weird awkwardness. You guys are just like stuck around each other, just kind of looking at each other, trying not to look at each other, and you know, make eye contact. It is a weird thing. I don't know why silence is that thing. I think it's just more than ever is the society we live in terms of everything being so fast paced and everything, you know, a lot of things happening at once, like the way we move on from certain things, like, you know, like about a week ago or like more than a week ago, probably at this point, Kobe Bryant passed away. You know what I mean? That was a very big thing. He's a very big icon, but it's almost like shit just happens and we kind of move on from that. Like even with, I don't know if you paid attention to the fucking Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj like arguing. They were arguing on Twitter. People, that was like the topic for the day. Yeah. Do you think anybody brought up Kobe Bryant that day? Hell no. They didn't.
Well, no, actually, I mean, I could.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But my guy Quint, Kobe Bryant has been his guy, and so he's been posting. He's been his like screensaver. Okay. So there are people. He's one of the rare people. But yeah, bro, I agree with what you're saying. There's definitely a lot of. It's like your life moves on. We do attribute so much energy to things that we really don't give a shit about. Not that we don't give a shit about Kobe Bryant passing. I mean, you know, that's not me trying to pretend. I don't give a shit about like having to feel that kind of energy in regard to rest in peace Kobe Bryant. I didn't post about it. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. Well, I did, but it wasn't until a couple of days later. It was like, I don't know why. There is, you know, obviously, I don't think anybody should be judged for not posting something on social media about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That doesn't make really much sense to me, but. Yeah, I do understand the thing about silence. It is a thing that a lot of people can't figure out. I mean, I'm also like that with the music, or like I always have to be listening to something. I'm definitely like that. I'm trying to learn not to do that. But I had a question. I wanted to know. So you say that you are very comfortable in your own skin, and you are the way you are. Have you? At what age, or have you always been like that, or was there a point in your life when you were like? When you realize, okay, I'm just going to be myself and just do what I want? Was there like a specific time, or do you feel like you've always been like that?
So I had a very rough past. Like my childhood was filled with a lot of abuse and neglect and stuff like that. And, you know, when it comes down to like parents a lot of times wanting to discipline their children, the argument is like, oh, well, you know, you got to be quiet. and after you get done whatever the lashing or whatever, then you got to go to bed or whatever. But sometimes that means you got to go to bed at like 6 in the afternoon, or like 4 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of time to yourself.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, so me dealing with silence, me dealing with just like I said, being alone. When you're alone, you're asking yourself why. Like, why did I get beaten? Why did I get disciplined? Why is it that they went to this extreme? And so you start to think about people's emotions. You start to think about how life is. You start to think, and yeah, bro. There are a lot of questions that you can ask yourself when you're in isolation. I was gonna respond to what you were saying. In general, when you're alone, I know what it's like to, like I said, have just. It's like, this has to be
a lot of
something.
Yeah, exactly. You just feel comfortable just with like random thoughts that keep popping into your head and things like that.
Well, not even that, but you can get control over them. So on Despues' Instagram, I share Genesis 6:5. Genesis 6:5 speaks of how that was when the Lord had finally had remorse for creating humankind. So that's why he destroyed us. He destroyed us because of our imaginations being continually evil, naturally.
Wow.
But so we would have to, and this was brought the flood.
Yeah.
So now I'm not a Christian or anything like that, but
that is an interesting passage, though. That's definitely sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So but our imaginations are evil because, like I said, we make the choice to give into that evil shit. So like the Meek Mill, Nicki Minaj shit. I know about fighting. I know the gist of it because it was everywhere. But I don't know about. I intentionally, like with my Instagram and stuff, I had a whole time where I unfollowed a bunch of people who were talking all of that gang shoot, beating up shit. No, it actually changed my whole worldview in the sense of, I'm happier now. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So you feel now that you've kind of removed yourself from that kind of stuff. But okay, I mean, but that does take, like you said, it's hard. I think that takes a lot of self-control to choose not to delve into those kind of thoughts or like delve into that energy, I guess you would say, right? Because it is like, at the end of the day, that's why so many people do it, or so many people talk about it. It's because it's entertaining. Like everybody wants to see a fight, everybody wants to gossip, because it's, I don't know, like that little bit of conflict people enjoy. So I feel like, but I think you're right. It probably would make your life easier or better in a way if you kind of distance yourself from that. But yeah, I don't know. I've always personally struggled with that. And the thing about being alone though is interesting because I've always felt like I'm alone, right? So like I've gotten used to doing a lot of shit by myself. Like even this podcast. Literally every single thing you see from the podcast is like just me.
Right.
Every aspect of it. And that goes along with like any project I do or like even going to the movies by myself, which is like somehow taboo. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But like going to the movies by myself or just doing certain things just because I want to do it. I've gotten used to that kind of stuff. And it's funny, I've talked about this in a previous episode about how like some people don't know how to be alone. Some people aren't comfortable with themselves, so they don't want to be alone. That's something that I'm normally struggling with, but it sounds like you're kind of getting the gist of it, or like trying to work on it at least, like how to be alone.
Yeah, and that's a constant thing. That was the thing I was going to mention was the body seeks bodies. Friedrich Nietzsche is my favorite philosopher, but he introduces he was able to the body seeks bodies. So there's no surprise that there's the awkward feeling, but also, are you able to have enough control over yourself to, okay, am I going to give into this temptation to want to reach out to somebody, and make like small talk? Like I hate small talk.
No, small talk is horrible. Yeah. That's why I don't like texting, because texting to me feels like small talk. And if I want to get deeper, into a topic through texting, it's just uncomfortable because I don't want to write like fucking 5 paragraphs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not. I hate texting, but that's why, because small talk is just annoying to me.
Yeah. Like I don't. But my thing is though, if you're going to have a conversation though, let it be honest and transparent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let it be. Come with something. Or if it hurts you that bad to want to say something to somebody, then just say hello.
Right. Just say
how
hi.
are you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We did this conversation here started because you started just from the Tell me a little bit, blah, blah, blah. People have this or that. What about, and then you just branch. And that's how conversations,
you branch out. Yeah, that's what I try. That's why I don't really even plan the conversations anymore. Because for a long time, like I would have like topics that I want to get into, but every single time I had like literally, it got to a point where like I wouldn't even touch on anything that I wrote down. Because I do that where like I branch off of certain things and I want to get deeper into certain things, and that's why that works great for a podcast. You know what I mean? Bro. Like those kind of conversations. But yeah, the thing about being genuine and just being honest is something that I've realized is the reason why I don't like certain people. Because for the longest time, no, I'm serious. Because for the longest time, like I could never figure out why I didn't like certain people.
Yeah,
but. It's just that. It's just that it's just fake. Like, for example, like I had my friend, one of my, well, not a friend, but it was somebody I knew in middle school, right? And they were like, a group of people were making fun of me.
Okay. He
jumped in out of nowhere. Started making fun of me too. I was like, oh, okay.
And this is a friend of yours?
Yeah, I would consider him a friend, I would say. But he like jumped into that group that was making fun of me, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. This motherfucker 10 minutes later comes back. I have my PSP. And he says, yo, could I play in your, that PSP is dope. I fuck with that PSP. Can I play with it real quick? I'm like, what? What the fuck?
That's life.
You know what I mean? You were just, like, what the like, I hate that. You know how many times this happened to me where, like, people who get on that bandwagon, right, come back to me to, like, just talk. I'm like, what the fuck? You were just with that. Like, what are you doing?
Wait, what were you playing?
I don't remember what the fuck games I had. I think I had a bike game in there. I don't remember. I had Ratchet and what is it?
Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah.
Oh
I had a Ratchet and Clank game in there. I had a bunch of games. I mean, a bunch of them were like, hacked. You know what I mean? It wasn't with the little disc. It was just inside of the memory. That's the best way to do it. But yeah, that was one of the earliest moments I can remember, like, wow, okay, this is what I don't like about people when they're fake. And in a deeper sense, and in a deeper way, bro, I've been trying to figure this out for a long time, but I've always felt like there was something about white people that I didn't understand.
Okay.
For a long time, I was like, what the fuck is it? I just don't get them. And I think I'm starting to realize it's not all white people. It's just the typical white person, to me, is just completely disingenuous. The way they talk, the way they react to certain things whenever you see them talking. To me, they never feel like they're being honest about anything they're saying. Like anything. Oh, and don't even get me started when it comes to like race talk. Man, white people shut down quick, man. You never hear any genuine thoughts about race from white people because they want to be safe. You know what I mean? They don't want to obviously. I don't want to offend anybody, but it's like, I don't like that. It feels like they're putting up a wall, or like certain things just feel, they don't feel real. Like whenever a white person makes a joke, it's like, oh yeah, I was just doing it, like, yeah, dude, I was like, and there's something about it. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's something you would really say. I feel like you're just saying that because it's just a typical thing, the typical joke that somebody would say in that situation.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, and that still goes along the line of small talk, like people feeling like they have to say something just because it's on the topic at hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So exactly. but that's why I'm saying, even in the sense of race talk, how does that? I don't understand how race talk comes up. Like,
what do you mean? Like in what I was just saying with
like just like in general, like we have this tendency to want to like generalize people and like categorize them by like the colors. Because like me, again, a lot of people don't fucking like me. So a lot of people don't like a lot of people don't fucking like me, and some of it is like my brother. He would call me a white boy. All my life I've been called the white boy.
Wow.
So
that's gotta be a mind fuck.
They told me that I sound like it, vocabulary, some of the ways that I act, the things that I like. But it's just like, I don't understand how were these things created as a disparity for the races, or like are these exclusive to white people? Are these?
Well, they're definitely not. Yeah, no, hell no. That's it's just the way. I don't know. There is something about, and it is mostly perpetuated from the people who are not white. I don't know if you noticed this, but like when, like, let's say, I'll put it in my terms, like a Dominican person starts to talk like, let's say, really white or whatever, you'll never hear a white person tell, I mean, if they're racist, they're going to be, oh, you sound really sophisticated, that's just racism. But you'll never hear from a white person like, oh, you sound really white. You'll never hear that from a white person.
No, okay, I've actually gotten that a few times
From white people?
from white people.
That you sound like white?
That I sound white.
Okay, well, that's
but
fuck
again,
me
that's
then.
but again, no, but that's no, but that's but it's
I know,
it's
I know,
far
I know.
but it's far more common.
But you know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? It's like it's almost like people, and like it kind of all connects in a weird way. Cause like the way that certain minorities see themselves, it's almost like in a box. It's like
Yeah.
if you talk a certain way, that's not how everybody else does it. You're not part of us, and then that's we're not the first people to talk about this. This is like common fucking topics and the biggest rappers that there are. I mean, Drake, J. Cole, they all talk about that. It was like, oh, I was too black for the white kids, too white for the blacks. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
treaded
Yeah,
ground at
yeah.
this point. That's like something that a lot of people do go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just somebody who very much appreciates language. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
for example, the Spanish language, they call that a Romance language. And I'm like, why do they call it a Romance language? I would think that it's because of the cadence and inflections and just how
Right.
you're naturally supposed to express the words.
Yes,
Now with
yes.
the English language, there's it really plays a lot on nuance. You know, there's
Yeah.
a difference between saying I had a good day versus a great day.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And so, even when it comes down to my writing, my texting, and stuff like that, I use proper punctuation. I used to go to Girard College when I was a kid, and I remember one of the things that they would tell us. I had to do a speech. We did the Lion King, and it was like a band, and they had us present. I think it was for Kwanzaa, and there were commas and periods and stuff, and what they wanted me to say, and they were saying like, well, a comma is worth like it's like a 2-second pause, or like a period is like 3 seconds. So
okay.
yeah, so it was like, and I never quite tried to take those actual measurements and count them, but it's just like, okay, yeah, there are ways to express yourself, and just in general, like the way that language works, where people can understand you better by placing certain things in certain places.
Right.
So-
Yeah. The way language is very interesting. I mean, I've been told, even recently I did this on my Instagram. I did one of those like question thingies. It was like, I was jumping on a trend. Funny enough, it was like where people are asking like, oh, what's my best quality or whatever, like to see what people think. And a lot of it did come to like the way I speak or like how I express myself, and that is something that I've noticed I do put some importance to. Especially, I mean, the reason I even started this podcast, it all started from me listening to podcasts when I first moved to this country when I was 11. Because I moved from the Dominican Republic to Philadelphia, and I didn't know any English. And part of the way I learned to speak English was through podcasts, was through people just having conversation. And I would catch on like little words that I would just instinctively put into the conversation, like the word instinctively. Just throw that shit in there. It's like you don't even think about it. It's like it's almost like I've been emulating all those like hundreds of hours of conversations that I've listened to, and I think that's why I decided to start one on my own.
So I've been wondering about that, because you don't really hear Americans or just native English speakers that'll like pick up a Spanish children's book. Like I forget who it was that was saying he would read English children's books, and that's how he learned English.
Okay.
Or like watching novellas, watching
Right.
You know
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to learn the other language, how did that, like what is that mind process like? That
Well, the way I realized recently, the way I learned to speak English, and I think an effective way for anybody, it's just not necessarily practical, is literally just submitting yourself to the culture and the language completely. It has to be like almost as extreme as you moving to a country and you don't know the language. That is almost a surefire way of you learning the language and the culture, because you're forced to. Like your brain, you're literally forced to for survival. You need to learn what the fuck people are saying. You need to know what people are talking about. So it's like I was literally just forced to learn the language. It wasn't a choice. I did decide to delve deeper into English language and the culture.
Clearly.
Yeah, right. Something that like my two sisters didn't do really. And I mean, they're doing fine, but it was just kind of like they decided to stay more with the Spanish side of things. And they know English fine, obviously, because they all learn. I mean, the same with my parents. But, my mom and my dad mostly listen to Spanish music, listen to Spanish. All the media they consume is Spanish. I decided I wanted to get into the English side. And I think that's benefited me the most, because it got ingrained in me against my will. I think
but
that's
you still have both cultures though.
Oh, that's something they're definitely trying to get me to stay in, right? Because they notice that all I do is like, so now they force me to only talk Spanish to them in the house.
See, okay,
which
see,
is
that's
smart.
dope though. But that's dope.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? So you don't lose it. Like
exactly.
I used to speak German and like
really?
Russian and stuff, but I lost it because I didn't have anybody to speak it with.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
so.
it's yeah, exactly. Because if you don't practice it enough, it kind of loses. You kind of lose it. But what the fuck was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about
Well, what I wanted to wrap up my point in the sense of I was speaking about the English language again. Everything is about word choice. I was speaking to an artist last night about even when it comes down to rap with or just music in general, it's never been about vocabulary. It's not about spiritual miracle.
No,
individual or putting what was it? Eminem. I think it was Eminem or Kendrick Lamar. It was Kendrick. I think in Good Kid, Mad City, he mentioned something about rappers trying to put big words in their raps in order to. And you don't have to do that. Fucking Tupac has made so many great songs, for example, with very very little words.
Yeah.
And or just not having to. You go into the dictionary and try to find these words, words that rappers don't try to rhyme to.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I agree with rap. It's really more of as long as you're being understood or you're getting your point across the most effective way, or you know what I mean. That's really what matters. That's the thing that I know for sure. Eminem gets flack for at this point in his career. It's like. It all just feels like rapping and like he's not really saying anything. You know what I mean? He's just kind of like trying to impress people. Like he just broke the record for most words in a rap song with Godzilla. Like it was like 300 words, something crazy like that. I don't know how many words it was.
Because it was faster than Rap God or something.
Yeah, exactly. It was faster than Rap God. So then everybody, that was like a whole conversation of like, okay, but what the fuck did he say in that song? Like, what did he say? Like, you can ask people who listen to that song. It's like, I don't know. I mean, he's talking about, washing dishes or whatever. I don't know. And I mean, that's also fair if you want to like exercise that ability, because that is an ability to rap like that. But if you want to talk about actually sending a message, the big, I do have a problem with fucking big words, man. Like, I've realized a lot of people who kind of rely on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people who think. They may have a point, but they throw so many unnecessary big words in there.
Yes.
It's like, okay, that doesn't, like, it's almost like they think that makes them smarter. I've realized that. It's like I'm not just in a rap song, just in general, they throw, like, I can find, I have one specific person in mind, honestly.
Okay.
And I'll try to get them on the podcast to talk about it. But, no, it's just kind of like, when you see them talking about certain things, it's like 5 unnecessarily big words in a sentence. And this is just like, there was no need for all 5 of those words. You know what I mean?
Well, that also again ties into conversational cues.
Yeah.
Because like that's something with me. Like I said, I appreciate the English language. So I notice that I'll be speaking, and then like somebody will try to make their vocabulary different just because they're speaking to me.
Right. Wow.
And you can tell when you can tell when somebody's trying to like match your vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just like. And it's cool to match people's vibes, but to try to do it with the word shit, it's actually it's hard. I'd rather people just just express it in their normal way, or if you don't have, it's kind of like you said, if you don't have something to say, you don't.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter whatever you're saying, but that is funny that you're saying that when people switching the way they talk with certain people, and I mean that does happen for sure. And that's like code switching, I think they call it.
Switching.
Yeah, that's like a thing that just happens in our brain.
Yeah.
That is almost involuntary, but it is funny to see it. Specifically, I've had it where like I've talked to certain white people, and all of a sudden they start calling me brother. I was like, why are you calling me brother? Like what? Like what?
Oh, yeah,
He's like,
brother.
yeah, brother. He's like, oh, that's awesome, brother. I'm like, yo, stop. Brother is like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like brother is sus. I feel like that's a word.
Sus?
Yeah, it's sus. Whenever white people start calling you brother, it's like, all right, you might have good intentions, but I just don't like it. Yeah, it's interesting. I do want to start talking about what made you want to start music, because I've noticed when you are somebody, and not just me in general, I feel like this could even apply to myself. When you're like somebody who's, let's say, yourself, right? Like you're authentically yourself, and you have a lot of thoughts and you think a lot. I think those are the kind of people that get into creative fields. Mm-hmm. But it's always interesting to see why rap as opposed to anything else, right? because that is a thing that I feel like people do, where it's like there's a lot of people who are creative that choose a certain field where they could have done anything. I mean, you could easily just be a fucking broadcaster. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So why rap? I want to know what made you want to do rap, or just music in general, not just rap.
Of course, yeah. Actually, I'm a producer first. So,
okay.
Really from between like 2012 to like 20, really even up to now. Really 2011. When I was in middle school, I used to go to Amy at James Martin Middle School. And I had a couple of friends. My friend Sam, she showed me Kyoto by Skrillex.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
okay.
And that was my introduction to dubstep. But
Okay.
before that, I was like making beats and stuff for my dad has a record label, ASI Records. Shout out Santa Fe and Albuquerque. And I would make beats, and I was always rapping and stuff. But it wasn't. I never wanted to be known as a rapper. Like even to this day, I'm not a rapper. I don't call myself a rapper.
All right.
I've even.
Good to know.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I know.
Calling you a rapper the whole time. So
yeah, no, you're good. But I know that I can rap.
Yes.
I'm an audio wizard. So,
Okay.
like I said, in my isolation and stuff like that, you notice that with the silence and how the rest of the world moves, literally, like it's sound is just the vibration of waves. Yeah. So music or sound in general is just the manipulation of those waves all around you. So it's an opportunity to create an environment, literally. So I just absorb all that in, hip hop, soul, electronic, all that stuff. It all affects me in particular ways, and we all have different ways that we receive certain frequencies and vibrations.
Right.
So
yeah.
I just output.
Yeah, that energy thing, for a long time, like I wasn't really receptive to that. To whenever people would talk about certain energies, it's like go energies. I was like, yeah, that shit ain't real. But it's like it is real. You know, you might not want to call it energy, but there's a vibe, whatever you want to call it, is there. You know what I mean? We might not know exactly what it is, or you might not think it exists or whatever. But there is something when you're talking to. You can feel when something's off. You can feel when something's going right. You can feel what, like, something is throwing the vibe off. Like, there's been days, like, for example, at work where, like, everybody's kind of, like, off in a way. When you're, like, talking to people, like, shit is falling.
Like,
you're,
something's in the air.
Yeah, like, you're tripping over each other. Like, you keep hitting the door. It's like... What the fuck is going on? Like, everybody. It's not just you. It's like literally everybody's like probably talking at the wrong time, or like people are getting misunderstood. There is that thing that happens that it almost like catches everybody.
But that's my thing though. It's like I know that other people can see the kinds of things that I talk about, so that's why I talk about them.
Yeah. So what kind of things do you talk about? Like that? What things do you
we just mentioned conversational cues, for example. Like I have a song. My language, where at the end I say, people think that I'm saying, I said, you can't tell me I won't be successful, and like that can be interpreted in a couple of different ways, in the sense that, okay, yeah, you can't tell me that I won't be successful, but I actually wrote that in the position of somebody else who's in the position of them not being genuinely passionate and genuine about what it is that they're doing in the realm of music,
right?
And them being like, well, how can you tell me that I won't be successful? This is the money bag is. All I got to do is talking about the money and the clothes and the cars and everything that I don't actually have, and you know what I mean. And plus, and then I said, my mama told me that I'm so special. All these people took time making my head full. All I'm about to do is fucking explode. You're starting to see you're not receiving that validation. You know what I'm saying? And it's breaking down. But it's like, my thing at the end of the day is just find what it is that you actually love to do. Because for me, it's this music shit.
So you like making music, doing music, all that. Yeah.
But other people, they're doing music, or they're doing podcasting, or they're doing fucking basketball, and it's just, they're only doing it because they saw their dad do it. They saw Michael Jordan doing it. They just see it looks cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, bro. And that's what I wanted to mention also earlier. There are so many people around me who, I was talking to my dad about this too, who want to do like podcasting. And say, yo, I want to do a podcast. You see the Joe Budden podcast? I've seen the Brilliant Idiots. I've seen the Breakfast Club. It's like, okay, well, yeah, but like, and they don't get the cameras. They don't get the microphones.
Right. They never put the effort into do it.
Exactly.
And then, because they don't really have the motivation. They're just saying, oh yeah, I want to do it. But like, And you can see that that's what consistency proves for anything. If you're consistent in something, if you're not passionate about something, consistency is never going to be there. You never really wanted to do it. You know what I mean? I've noticed that with a lot of people that like want to create YouTube channels or things like that. Even me, I make a lot of YouTube. I've made a lot of like YouTube videos or YouTube channels or even different podcasts that I was just never able to stay consistent of. All that says is you're not really passionate about it. I mean, I've been consistent. This is the longest I've been consistent with this podcast, with anything I've ever done.
57, dude.
Yeah, which is not, you know what I mean? Which I would say it's good for me, bro. Because before, like I wasn't really that consistent. Like the longest I could go being consistent with something was like 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And then I will miss like 1 week, and it was like, fuck it, who cares? And I'll get bored of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Some things I couldn't even get past like 3 or 4 episodes. So that just says that is a good thing that's true. That makes me realize that the way you truly know if somebody's passionate about something is if they are consistent with it, because they're actually putting in the effort to do it.
Yeah.
And if you lose that motivation, you don't really have that passion, because if you're passionate about it, you want to continue to do it. That's really interesting. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, there's also the other issue of there are a lot of people who can be very consistent, but their motivation is like money.
Right.
And it's like, okay, cool, but we can feel when your shit is not genuine. Like it's not really, you know what I mean? Like this is a fucking conversation. You know what I'm saying? There are other people who probably, you know, like they have to put on the happy face when in reality they're really like they dread having to put on the mic.
Right.
They dread having to, you know, put on the camera.
Exactly.
And so I mean, that's why I don't understand like famous depression pages. How are you a depression page spreading all this negative shit, but you got like 30,000
page? That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Wait, what are those? Wait, hold on. Is that just like pages that post like depressed like quotes or whatever?
Life is so bad. Sometimes I just want to go back to like hurting myself. It's like, bro.
Yeah. Famous depression pages. That sounds hilarious.
But then like I said, then they'll have like 22,000 likes and 16,000 retweets, and it's just how are you still and you're selling merchandise and stuff
that's
on your
wild.
page?
That's wild. When you have depressed merchandise.
Yeah.
Bro, I think I know. There is a popular not YouTuber, but just online personality. I forget his name, but he definitely has like a clothing page that's about depression. It was like You Matter or something like that.
Okay.
And it's really popular. It's like that shit was selling out like with Supreme. Yeah. It was wild. I'm like, okay, interesting.
But that was like, it was like, you said You Matter, so it was going against depression. Like they're trying to fight.
I guess it's going against depression, but it's still on that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? I see what you're saying. Where I guess it's obviously more positive, so you want to. But the fact that it's even in merchandise, it's a weird thing. Whenever like certain things become like monetized. You know, hopefully this podcast becomes monetized, but I'm just saying in general.
Exactly. Hey, listen, money is the value that has been created for us to use to exchange goods, doing what we love to do, bro. Our country was built off of this time, this entrepreneurial time.
It was. This. I feel like I had a class in college. This like I forget what the fuck the class was called, but we would talk about a lot of stuff. It was like a PR class. I remember.
Okay.
And we were just talking about like different cultures and how you could deal with them. And we were talking about America a lot. And every time we talked about it, I make the realization that every single big or bad thing that's happened in this country has had to somewhat do with money.
Yeah,
even
man.
Down to the worst thing that's happened in this country, which is slavery.
Yeah.
It's really about capitalism, because they were trying to, stay cheap with their labor. So that's why they had slaves. And it all went back to that. It was just like, if you get rid of slaves, there's not going to be money coming into this. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, even down to that was connected to capitalism. Everything you think about in this country, you can probably connect it to capitalism. That's how ingrained it is.
Well, I mean, we just see, again, like I said, it's a way of life. Like, currency in general has been created as a value for us to have so that we can exchange things. Right. So I do think of this a lot as well. How would we exchange goods if we didn't have gold, silver, diamonds, and all that stuff? So I wonder if we can live in a time where
our inherent gifts, our innate gifts, are the actual things that we can use that we can use to receive.
Yeah,
You know
I mean, I do understand there needs to be some sort of currency. Obviously, you can't go back to the bartering system. You know what I mean? You need. It's like that's just kind of like.
But can we though?
Maybe we can, but I don't think that would be really efficient. Honestly, the way things are set up now.
I haven't picked a side. I haven't picked a side.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because, like I said, the money thing has just been. It's been destroyed. I'm not about to sit here and like go into the Federal Reserve and history and all
Go
that.
ahead, please do. Wait, so what do you mean by the money thing has been destroyed? What do you mean by
it's
that?
being devalued intentionally.
Okay.
So like for example, it doesn't make sense that we have billionaires and trillionaires. It's
Right.
actually, that's actually a bad thing.
Yes.
You know, because
I see where you're going.
the value in currency is in its scarcity, not in its quantity. You
Right.
know? And so
like that's why like right now we have people we can make diamonds. We can now make real diamonds.
Jesus.
Okay, but you realize that actually now it's like if you keep making diamonds, or just the fact that we have it's not worth anything anymore.
Right. It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not like now it wouldn't be a big deal if somebody finds a diamond in Africa somewhere that they've been digging for like fucking months. To find this one diamond. That shit won't matter anymore if you're just making them at your will. I see what you mean by is getting destroyed. Yeah, it's true with the billionaires and trillionaires. Yeah.
No, but I mean, even still, if you go to like the We Buy Gold spots and all that,
right?
If our grandparents can take the same amount of gold that they had back then, it's not worth the same now than it was before. And even still, the exchange, even so, let's say it was still worth the same because it's not broken down anymore from its bare mineral. It would be the amount of money our actual currency itself. It's not based off of like the value of gold. It's not based off of what and these are perceived values, silver, things of that nature. It's not. It's actually a fiat currency. So it's based off of a faith. That's why we have like the credit system.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not real money.
No. I mean that's how the fucking crash of the housing crash happened.
Shit, 2008, 2010.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so many of them. But again, these things are we don't. The United States doesn't have control over its own currency. We don't even own the U.S. dollar. The Federal Reserve does.
Interesting.
And there's one man in that position. He's the chairman. I think right now, it's Ben Bernanke. Before it was Alan Greenspan.
Okay.
And he ran it for a long ass time. They're the reason why we had the Great Depression in the 20s. But it all started in 1913 with Woodrow Wilson. He signed the Federal Reserve Act.
So what do you think is gonna happen with that then? Because it sounds like what you're saying is not what's the word? Like you can't maintain that for too long.
Well, that's
that what you're
We've
suggesting?
been saying, bro, Teddy Roosevelt. You know what I mean? We've been from the we didn't want a central bank. You know what I mean? And they knew that all this was planned. Now the other issue too is this has been something that's been going on for a long time, even with the Red Shield and stuff like that. That's been like in Britain and stuff. But again, these central banks that run these countries, and then it gets fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it seeps into other aspects of life. They don't just control our currency. No, these same people are also people. So they have like our news corporations. They run different aspects of it, and they can affect the moods of the people, the collective conscious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand like how people don't like why people dismiss Illuminati so easily, because it's the thing about Illuminati is that people see it as this fucking almost like a fucking mystical thing, right? It's like you see Illuminati, they see the eye with the pyramid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this shit is like, and then that's why people dismiss it. But it's not so hard to think that there's a group of extremely influential people that could probably affect a lot of what happens in this country. That's not that far fetched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the Illuminati image. The way people perceive Illuminati with the eye in the pyramid is like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's a myth. But it's like, maybe we stop calling it the Illuminati and just give it like a normal name or like give faces to it. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, we do know that shit is happening, bro. Like, people putting money on people's heads, getting them killed and shit is real shit.
Yeah.
Like with the Kobe shit, I feel like that was planned. I feel like that was orchestrated. I understand accidents happen, but I think it's complete bullshit.
What do you think? Why do you think? What would be the reason?
What would
they
be the
targeted
reason?
Kobe?
People try to say the Dr. CB thing because he was supposed to publish his book.
Right. Oh wait, wasn't Kobe involved with that?
That's it. Yeah, Kobe was
wow.
I guess going to publish his book, which was about Dr.
Oh
CB.
yeah, I remember that news. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. Okay.
But also like they say same thing with Nipsey with the Dr.
Right.
CB thing.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, but
yeah, the helicopter thing is kind of crazy.
But then the thing too is that you also have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Right.
But right.
Those are like almost undeniable at this point. You know what I mean? The fact that
we know that.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't even.
But they still try to cover it up though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
JFK though.
Yeah,
JFK is a white person that they killed. So it's like it's not about, and that's why I say like that's one of the. It's not about race. It's about mindset. Yeah. So if you're in a mindset where you want to destroy what it is that they've created and what they're trying to trying to have the people behaving, then they're gonna kill you off.
Right.
Because I wouldn't call that the Illuminati. I don't really subscribe to that idea, but what's within it, what they know,
exactly. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like you can't tell me it's not possible. That I mean, we already know there's billionaires and trillionaires. There's billionaires and trillionaires we don't even know. You know what I mean? That are not like Jeff Bezos, that are motherfuckers just walking with glasses, taking pictures of Meek Mill. Yeah. Like there are a lot of them that you don't know about. And that's where that comes in because they're able to get away with certain shit. I mean, even the Jeffrey Epstein thing was made like
super fishy, bro.
You know what I mean? It's like that's one of those things that's like opening the eyes for a lot of people. It's like it's so almost crazy at this point. This guy has connections to all these powerful people, and he might have some evidence on that they might be fucking little kids or whatever. And he gets killed and so solitary confinement, bro. Solitary confinement. When you're supposed to watch, he was on suicide watch. You're supposed to watch him not get killed. He gets killed and nobody knows what the fuck happened. It's like, come on. It's like at that point, it's like
it doesn't make sense.
And like I said in the beginning of this, people just move on. It's like, whatever, fuck it. You know what I mean?
I mean, no. Of course they're gonna move on, but that's because they know that they're gonna move on. Yes. We're gonna move on regardless, but
that's why that's why they even did it like that. They didn't even give a fuck how obvious it was.
Exactly. They make these bullshit stories, and then you're just supposed to continue to move on from. Even though we're like, we know we're being lied to. Like we know exactly. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. I feel like we need to begin. We should have been had it. Creating the revolution to reverse all of this bullshit. You know what I mean?
So how do you go about that? Then reversing a lot of the ways.
First and foremost is communication, bro. People. This is what I'm saying. So you're able to establish your consistency and whatnot doing your podcast. You know what you want to do because you've gone on the internet. You've been able to, okay, cool. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to dedicate my life to. So great. In the meantime, you've been able to meet a lot of very interesting people. Yes. You just asked me a very, very valuable goddamn question. Like I ask people all the time, why don't they like me? What do you think of me and all that? And like I said, I get all these sugar-coated responses. I want you're somebody as like an outsider. You just wanted like you're not afraid to ask questions.
Right.
So not being afraid to ask questions, encouraging those conversations that we have to have. I'm not gonna keep on. I'm at work. You want to ask me the same questions every single day. You know what I'm saying? Oh yes, these are all mine. Yes sir. Blah 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 blah. Oh, or you want to talk about money? Yes, these little material things. But there are also things within us and about us. You know what I mean? That we should be addressing and talking about because it's interesting that so many of our generation have been suffering. Like their families are separated and all that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, I get it. You're alone. I get it. You're sad. I get it. You're going through a lot, and I can be here for you for that. But I've had an experience like that too. Let's merge together and make something powerful because we can do that. The body seeks body. So bro. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So it looks like my main question coming into this podcast is why don't people like you? And I guess we don't have the answer to that because people don't want to fucking tell you.
Well, hopefully we'll get some fucking answers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll be because I didn't know how. I'm just wondering about that because I don't know what it is that people, like what makes somebody not. I've always found that interesting. Like what makes somebody like an outsider? What makes somebody like class structure, or not class structures, but like the way even high school works of like how certain people are with these people and then these people are here. And this is one person over there and this person. It was like, I've always thought about what the fuck is the problem with that. All right. If you were to guess then why people don't like you, What do you think it is?
I've had a few guesses, bro. Like I said, my whole demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Like just.
What do you mean by demeanor?
I run everywhere.
Oh,
Like.
Well, there we go. That's one. That's one right there.
What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like people.
I mean, there is nothing wrong with running. I mean, if anything, it's efficient, especially if you're fit enough to run everywhere. But I think it's just people don't want to see anybody run. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who's like, God would never run. It's a
God
thing.
would never run.
No, not God. No. That is pretty funny if anybody would say that. That's not what I said. I like people saying that they would never run. Like,
just to get place to place, right?
Yeah, they just see it as kind of like, the running thing. That's such an interesting thing. That's very interesting because I do think people that there is a societal thing of like you shouldn't run. Like after like 9 years old, you probably shouldn't run. It's like a thing. It's a thing. People don't. You know how many times I've run like for some reason like well, I don't know why, but I am kind of like whenever I'm crossing the street or something, I'm never walking slow. I walk really fast because like one time I almost got run over. You know what I mean? There was a car going all the way. I didn't look. I almost got hit. Yeah. So I think that's the reason why I do that. And I've been told like, yo, why you? I would even run when I was younger. Like, why do you run across the street? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know.
A fucking car.
I didn't connect the dots at that age. But
okay.
You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to realize that. But I don't know. That's a funny thing about the running. How, why do people find that weird? Like, why is running weird? You know what I mean?
That's for them to answer. But at the end of the day, I just think that like people can mind their business or just it's just life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just people decide to live their lives the way that they want to, and I have a lot of very harmless ways that I live my life that don't impede upon anybody else.
Right. I mean, running doesn't hurt anybody, so it shouldn't be. It's almost like whatever.
Yeah. But however, they do say though that the way that I run, it looks like something's wrong. But again, that's
why hold on. Why do you run everywhere?
Bro, my legs, bro.
With your legs?
Ever since I was a kid, I've always been a runner, bro. I mean, even my dad, they used to call my dad Sonic when he was growing up. I
oh, wow.
That. But,
okay.
So I guess I caught the Sonic gene. I guess, yeah. If we can use that as an excuse. I'm just an active guy. You know what I mean?
Okay. But do you like running? Is it just, what is it about it?
I love, bro.
So you love running?
You know how you get that impulse to run? And you just won't give in to the temptation. You're just like, nah, that's dumb. Like,
I do think, you're right. Wow.
Yeah. I just do what
I gotta think about that because that's weird. Why the fuck do we want to? Because I can definitely guarantee you I've had that impulse. Like, yo, let me just dip right now. Let me just fucking run.
Yeah, and the other thing too is time. I see time in a very, very. I play chess as well. But even before I started getting seriously into chess again. Time, there's so much time in a second. There's so much time,
right.
But because of that, I'll always feel like I'm late somewhere too, or I don't want to be late somewhere. I mean, even today, I got here like 9:57 or something, 9:58.
Yeah,
like bro,
interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm about time as well.
Okay, so I guess we found one possible reason people don't like you running.
It still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's not, none of it makes. I'm just curious as to why people don't like it, but it means nothing.
It means nothing.
You know what I mean? It really doesn't mean anything, especially if it's not for something. The only time people not liking you is valid if you've actually done something wrong.
Exactly.
If you're a fucking rapist or
that's
pedophile.
What I want to know.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
And that's the only reason why anybody's distaste for you should matter. It's like if you're a rapist, I don't want to hear a rapist like I don't care what people say about me. It's like, bro, it's not just that they don't like you; it's that you're doing something pretty fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine a rapist just like, yo, yeah, people talk shit about me, but they're just haters. He calls people haters. That's hilarious.
But my question though is. Because I'm somebody who gives everybody a voice. I'll let anybody explain, even if it's just to hear them lie for however long. Yeah. So and that's because like I also love to watch people suffer. So am I going to watch you suffer from?
You mean just in that sense? Let's clear that.
Not just in that sense. I mean just in general, just being dishonest and disingenuous.
No, but I'm saying when you say I love to see people suffer, let's be clear on what kind of suffering.
Oh yeah, and this
let's not talk about fucking torture.
I'm telling you.
What I mean? That's what I'm saying. Let's clear that up a little bit.
Conversational cues.
Yeah, there we go.
The universal cues and
There you
stuff.
go.
So
Yes.
if you feel the need to constantly, okay, cool. It's like you can, it's, you know how when you're talking to somebody and you know that they're lying,
Yeah.
or not even if you know that they're lying, but you're waiting to see like, are they lying to me? Are you being genuine? And some people, they can pick up on you being judgmental, or they might think you're being judgmental, and then they're
Yeah, they start like switching shit, and it's just
trying to,
like halfway through even they kind of like start switching around and
make things seem like they're not what they are. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's true. People,
But,
yeah, people. I hate. I mean, again, that's just one of my fucking pet peeves when people are just not on. It's just like, why are you? Man, I mean, that's my favorite thing to do too. I love calling people out when they're lying. Like,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
my favorite thing because it's like, I mean, they obviously stick with the lie, but I'm like,
Yeah.
that's true. Are you sure?
Yeah,
you
like
sure?
calling it out, but also not just calling it out, but just like I said, just watching them.
Yeah.
If you watch somebody while they're in the middle of like trying to build some big complex to run away from what the truth is, so that's my thing. Like I said, there are people out here who rape, there are people out here who have killed, there are people who allow their evil imaginations to overcome them. But at the end of the day, they're not people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
that's.
you can
I mean, that's a
still-
conversation. Listen, that is a conversation that I don't even think I'm even ready to have, and I could talk about anything, but that's definitely something there.
I'm just
There's
saying
something there.
communication.
Listen, and people don't talk about it. People don't talk about it, and I don't know if I'm gonna talk about it right now. But there is a thing of like certain fucking, rapists or specifically pedophiles.
Even
people.
pedophiles, bro. It's weird. It's fucking
It's weird, and I don't even want to. One day
but-
I want to have, because that's one topic that I'm going to specifically think about and like get my thoughts on, so I know, because that's something you got to be very, it's a line that you got to walk, and that's not something you can fucking fumble. So I'm gonna,
No. My thing at the end of the day is you learn about people from having conversations with them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm not somebody who subscribes to like being medicated. And all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Science tries so fucking hard to try
Yeah.
to figure us out and fuck our minds up. It's like, no, just have us talk to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think conversation helps a lot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, conversation has definitely solved a lot of things. You're right. It does. You can definitely get to know a person just by talking to them. You know what's funny? I know somebody, and to put a cap to this conversation, we've been recording for about 56 minutes now. I like to keep it around an hour.
Yeah, you're good.
So before we're done, I just want to tell you about this person that I know.
Okay.
That this creeped the fuck out of me. This like genuinely like unnerved me.
Okay.
So I was talking to this girl, right? And I was like taking a look at this something else with like while we were talking. And I was trying to like fix something, right? I'm focused on this. And I don't know, but she's just like, she says, man, my phone broke. My phone screen broke, right?
Okay.
She says that. I hear it, but I just kind of ignore it because I'm like, I'm trying to do this, whatever. It wasn't even on purpose. I didn't ignore her on purpose. I was just really focused on this thing. That she comes by me with a big ass smile on her face, like she's the Joker or something. And she's like, did he hear me? I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, my phone broke. Like, and I don't know if I'm the thing that fucked me up the most about that is that she's clearly upset that her fucking phone broke. So why is she smiling throughout the entire conversation of her explaining to me step by step how her fucking phone broke and how she's really sad about it? She's smiling. Bro, that I couldn't even understand. Like, I was just like in my head, like, why are you smiling? You're telling me something that is upsetting to you.
But that's
why
good,
the fuck are you smiling? It's not good because you're hiding your true emotion.
But a positive mindset at the end of the day. Are you going to destroy yourself because your phone is broken?
But you can't. But stop smiling. But there's no need to smile. You know what I mean? Like that. She had like a big ass. It's not like just like being cool about it. Like, oh, I'm cool. It's like a fake.
Oh, you thought it was condescending.
It wasn't even condescending. It was a manufactured big ass grin on her face.
Okay, manufactured.
You know, it's not.
That's a hard word.
You know
that's
what I mean?
A hard word.
No, I'm just throwing that shit in there. Listen, I'm just saying. You can be cool about it, like, man, yeah. I mean, and even make a joke about it, like, man, fuck, my phone broke. I can't even look at the screen, laugh about it. That's not what I'm talking about. It was a fixed smile on her face while she's telling me this extremely upsetting shit. You know what I mean? It's not about letting it overtake you. It's obviously she's upset about it. She's just putting on a face. It's not about if she was genuinely like cool about it. It like look the optimism of it. I'm like, that's great, that's awesome. But she definitely wasn't optimistic about it. She was not feeling positive.
Yeah,
but had this fake ass smile on her face, and that shit like completely creeped. Like I don't even want to talk to her because I feel like that's a psychopath.
But I think that's like an accountability thing. I do that too in the sense where it's like, wow, I'm a dickhead.
Wait, that's not. But yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm
like that either.
No, it wasn't like that. It's not even making fun of yourself. It was literally just. Let me give more background. I guess she's always smiling.
Oh, okay.
Always.
Oh, okay. High energy.
Through everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like, you know, there's no need to smile all the time, man. It's like someone's like I don't know. It freaked me out. It's like I don't even want to talk to this person anymore. Like I don't understand this person. The person is also a pathological liar too. Lies about everything every couple of minutes. So now I hope you're starting to see what I'm trying to say now. It's just like super uncomfortable. It's like, especially like we talked about. I want somebody who's genuine and honest about how they're feeling or what they're thinking.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it was. But man, Des, thank you so much for joining me. This was a great conversation.
Yes.
We definitely got to do another episode. That flew by. We could talk about so much more shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the way we end every episode is with a segment I like to call the Aux, where we play songs we've been listening to recently. For Des's song, well, I'll let him introduce what song we're going to be playing.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, I'm currently working on 6 albums, and one of those songs is a song called "Finish."
It says 6 albums.
6 albums. Yeah.
Are you planning on releasing them like?
Not at
do you have a strategy for it, or is like?
You're not gonna have me get into my.
All right. The 6 album thing. You don't hear a lot of people. You hear people saying, "Yeah, I'm working on an album." You don't. You casually just dropped in there. I'm working on 6 albums. Like, all right. I just had questions, but okay.
Yeah. No, you're good. But yeah. So I'm deciding to play one of those for you guys today, and it's called "Finish." Yeah.
All right. Appropriate for this segment.
Yeah. All right.